Do you forget English words in critical conversations when you need them the most? Like when you're working under pressure and you can't remember the vocabulary you need to say exactly what you need to communicate in a very specific moment. So, in case you don't know me, my name is Richard Dalton. I've taught thousands of professionals over 15 years how to speak clear and confident professional English. I'm a teacher trainer, I've started language schools, and I'm the owner of Big World English. We've helped thousands of students overcome self doubt and fear speaking English in their careers. And today, I would like to share with you what I've noticed over my career that are really the biggest challenges with vocabulary. For most professionals, the problem is not that you don't have a good memory or you're bad at language learning. It's that you just don't have a system to review words that you've studied in the past. This very simple thing that you can change in your lifestyle of language learning can have the biggest impact on your life and on your career. So, to solve this problem for our students, we've actually created a Telegram bot that will text you once a day 5 words that you need to learn at your specific level. And every message includes links with definitions, pronunciation. And the coolest part is that the bot automatically reviews the words for you in spaced repetition. This review is the critical thing that's missing for most professionals. If you study a word today and learn that word and never look at it again, in 2 or 3 months, you have a 5% chance of remembering to use that word. But if you come back to that word in 3 days, 7 days, 2 weeks, 30 days, then you increase your chance of remembering that word and using it in real conversation by 90%. So, at 3 months from now, if you want to dramatically increase your vocabulary, you just need to start using a daily system of review so that you re encounter the words that you need to activate better fluency in your daily life. Now, I'm going to share with you what I believe are some other big tips around how to study and practice vocabulary effectively based on what we know from the research in language learning. Number one, according to the research, if you don't encounter a word at least 10 times in a meaningful way, then you're just not going to remember that word. So, review is, of course, like I've said so far, so critically important. Secondly, when you study new words, you don't want to study them in categories. What do I mean? You always want to study words as they naturally go together in a language. So, for example, if you are a designer and you're trying to learn new colors, well, these are basic colors, but you wouldn't learn red, yellow, blue, purple, black in categories like that, the category of colors. Instead, you would learn other vocabulary that go with those colors, like a big blue sky or a delicious green apple. So these words naturally go together in sentences, and that's actually how your brain will acquire new vocabulary with how you associate words together. This brings me to the third thing. The third thing is that 90% of the time when you're studying new vocabulary, you're going to be studying single words. So, like beautiful or mathematics or abstract. Those are single individual words. But 10% of the time that you practice your vocabulary, you need to be practicing phrases. These are multi word items. So, these are things like in the beginning, the preposition in, the determiner the, and beginning are a collocation that typically go together. Idioms are a good example as well, like I can read you like a book. Expressions that are more cultural, these words and phrases you will learn in chunks. Phrasal verbs like shut down, shut up, shut off, shut in. Those words, when you add prepositions to those Latinate verbs, you're going to change the meaning completely. So you need to treat the phrasal verb like it is a single independent vocabulary word, just like these expressions and so on. The fourth thing is that if you read to practice your vocabulary, you need to understand at least 97% of the words on the page, or else that activity is not going to benefit you. This is based on an idea called comprehensible input, that your English really only grows if you go right up to the edge or the horizon of your ability, and then you go one tiny step beyond that with support. So when you're reading a book, if you understand 97% of the words, then you're not stopping to constantly check and look up new words, and you can follow the meaning and the message and get the story, which will be the most important thing for developing that vocabulary. However, you cannot just read new words to just encounter new words as your primary way to grow your vocabulary. You must do something with the words, make sentences, try to pronounce them, speaking in the mirror. You have to actually write, speak, use the words, or you will not remember them. And finally, the last thing I want to share is that if you feel like you have a ton of vocabulary already, like you've studied a lot of words in school or just from learning English, but you're not really using them, the problem is not that you need to go off and learn more words. The problem is that you need to activate the ones that you have. And the question is how to do that. You have to have a reason or a task for speaking to use those words. So if you think about this more advanced, more specific vocabulary, you're just not going to use in everyday conversation. About 1,000 words is 80% of the English that we use every day. So if you have something like 5 or 6,000 words, that's a lot of vocabulary that you will only use for 20% of your life or conversations. So the idea here is that if you don't have a task or a reason for speaking about these things, that is a topic in conversation that requires those vocabulary, then you're just not going to use them. So, your task and reason for speaking is the most important thing for activating vocabulary that you already have. So, I hope that you found these directions to be helpful for how to practice your vocabulary. Again, we've created this Telegram vocab bot that will message you once a day with the exact words that you need to study at your level, with everything that you need to learn them. And it sends them to you in systematic review so that you have a 90% chance of using the words 2 to 3 months from now if you open your messages, read them, and practice. That is totally free. And there's a link below in the caption to download that. It will speed up your vocabulary and make managing this process so much easier. So, again, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to this channel so I know what content you really want to see. And again, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.